All right, well, with the talk of anime conventions and Ohio Bike Week and motorcycle culture and all this, why don't we build some interesting characters who could very well end up being the wise old men at the end of the bar themselves? We're going to be dipping into our Saltmarsh content, and I mean, if you've been popping in throughout the week, you'll know that we're delving into this content together. The Ghost of Saltmarsh, which has 4 custom backgrounds, and it also talks about officers aboard a ship. And we went over that last night. In fact, we were kind of impromptu making some officers because of our opening up of miniature boxes. I mean, based on your description of these biker events, I might be with the life I've lived. 12-sided guy. I mean, in our own ways, we are wizards. With the experiences we've each had in life and the things that we've shared and know, it is. I mean, what could you tell someone about life? You know, if someone came up to you, and asked you a question about, whatever, life, love, the meaning of something, or even just, oh, I wonder how this thing works. The opportunity's all around us. Holmes. The Boss Hoss sounds like a jet aircraft. It sounds like a rather intimidating bike, very loud. Now, to make our characters, we have our character randomizer, our go-to guide for randomly generating aspects of a character. And I do this because I want us, in the context of a workshop, to challenge ourselves. And for us to make the connections that are presented to us as a test. Because it could very well be easy. For those of you who've been playing D&D for a while, maybe you have a preferred race or class or something along those lines. You say, oh yeah, I always play elven clerics. Or if not elven clerics, then elven paladins. And so we get the idea that you like elves and you like divine classes. Well, in this sense, because I have some biases as well. Things that I might tend towards. I really try and mix it up, but still, to remove any iota of that kind of bias, we roll the dice, we see the results we get, and then it's up to us to make the connections. How can a character like this exist? And so that's what we're going to end up doing. Speaking of knowing and sharing, totes down for this Saltmarsh content, having sailed on a classic ship. There used to be one off the coast a few hours away from me. You'd go out with a bunch of people and they teach you the terminology and how to use the rigging and how classic style ships used to be maintained. That is awesome, 12-sided guy. We get something similar called the Festival of Sailing, where several large sailing vessels, I believe including, I think we get the USS Constitution, that comes into the Great Lakes. Which, if any of you don't know, the Constitution is still technically a naval vessel. Like it is still a part of the United States Navy, despite it being a sailing ship. Now it's more of a demonstration, like a display ship, but it is still in the Navy. But that's really cool, 12-sided guy. You can learn a lot of interesting experiences, sailing and doing other things like that. The second oldest warship. All right, so here's our character sheet. It is ready to go. Actually, I'm going to shrink this up just a little bit here. Now, we are going to use the 4 backgrounds from Saltmarsh for the 4 characters that we're going to end up manufacturing. So that is going to be fixed. What I'm willing to open up, though, because we normally only use the player's handbook, right, to keep things simple. However, you know, if any of you have been sailing, or you've been, you know, if you've been in the military, in fact, we could even extend this to our conversation about the motorcycle block party going on. You get people from all walks of life who end up joining a crew for all sorts of reasons. And so what I will do is I will open up all of the race choices for these characters. I will also open up the backgrounds are going to be fixed to what they are. I'm not going to worry about that. But all of the classes and subclasses will open up as well. The British have one that's older, but it never leaves dry dock. It would miss tea time if it did, said 12-sided guy. English Mudkip, can you confirm this? So our randomizer is almost fully open, with us really just bottlenecking things at the level of background, because we want to use the custom backgrounds for Saltmarsh. Now, I will one thing that I will not produce in this case. Well, no, you know what? Maybe I could just open it up. We have yeah, you know what? Let's do that. I normally wouldn't make a the captain as a position for a player character, because it can cause some tension or stress at the table, or, you know, it might be easier as the dungeon master to control the story by having the captain take the party members in places, even if they're playing all the other officers. But you know what? We're playing around, and we're going to end up making 4 of the 6 officers. So you know what? I'll just roll a d6, and we'll include the captain as a possible role here. English Mudkip, to me, would you like to look at a Final Fantasy XIV homebrew PHB with races and classes from the online game? I have it. I have the one that had been updated to Stormblood, and I am I would be ecstatic, because, well, you know that they're going to update it for Shadowbringers as well. Hello, Ozzy. Welcome. A Kenku in the Crow's Nest. Hey, that came up as when we were making our crew out of a box here. When people were sponsoring boxes yesterday, I challenged them, where would you place each of the characters that we popped open for officers aboard your ship? Oh, wait, someone made one for Shadowbringers already? Oh, all right then. I wonder how it has Dancer and Gunblade already, and we don't know I don't think we know the skills just yet. I mean, maybe it could be revised. But yeah, geez, if there's an updated one for Shadowbringers already, then yeah, that'd be fun to see. All right, so here we go. Here's our blank character sheet. We have our dice roller, and if you ever want to access this, type in !dice or !bones, and you will get this this dice roller. So the first aspect of this character that I want to roll is, do we have a female character, a male character, or a multi-class character, in which case we'd roll again. So let's hit the percentile and find out. We rolled a 6. So we have a female character. And now, let's look at our race options. Look at this. 35 races. I'm going to generate a 35-sided die. And why don't we discover who this character is? Oh, that's great, English Mudkip. Oh, so yeah, Bubonic, you have a strong naval background. Very cool. "25. Race number 25 is a Loxodon. Very interesting. Very okay. Loxodons are in the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. And so we're gonna have to crack that open here. And we will reference what a Loxodon has. Dun, dun, dun. Centaurs, Loxodons. All right, so we'll save this for just a second here. We have a female Loxodon, and there's no subrace, so we're gonna continue. I will. You know what? There are all kinds of people in the world. I don't think we need to necessarily go for the penchant for evil, but why don't we use our balanced odds to find out our the way this character expresses herself. I'm going to roll a percentile set, and let's find out the alignment. 94. We have a chaotic evil character. And yes, a chaotic evil character can work with others aboard a ship without resorting to murdering them. It is a... It might be something that we kind of instantly snap to, but this is possible, and we will go over how a character like this can exist. Chaotic evil female Loxodon. We're going to generate her at level... We rolled a 1. We're going to generate a level 4 character. There we go. At level 4, we would get the ability to have an ability score improvement in ASI. I'm going to roll a percentile set and figure out if we replace that with a feat or not. At a 50, nope. Okay, it's just a natural stat bump. And so now we're going to continue. Now it's time to determine our background sources. And I am going to roll a D4, and we are going to figure out which background we want to assign to this character. I do want to reiterate that in Saltmarsh, it does give you backgrounds that will have a Saltmarsh twist on the original backgrounds found in the player's handbook. And it's an excellent way that you're not just getting 4. You're not just getting 4 backgrounds. You're getting all the backgrounds. Just some of them have some custom stuff. So anyway, on a D4, I guess we'll go Fisher, Marine, Shipwright, or Smuggler. Go back here, roll our D4. A 1. All right, so her background is as a fisher. And now consulting fisher. We do have a fishing tail of some kind. And so that's based on a D8 roll. So we're going to come back over here. I'm going to roll 2d8, so we get her fish story. We also get, actually, it should be 3d8. Because she's going to get her fish story, her 2 personality traits, and then we're going to roll 3d6, so she gets an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. So 3, 6, and 6. So she is Fisher number 3. I don't know what that is, but we'll get to it. Oh, and we got repeated. Yeah, I'm going to roll a d8. 1d8. I don't want to repeat here. 5. 3, 6, and 5. Very good. Now, for the 3d6, We ended up with a 2, 1, and a 5. 2, 1, and 5. These are placeholders. I don't know what they mean just yet, and that's fine. All I want to do is produce these random numbers, and we'll come back and interpret them very shortly. Oh, I saw that I missed a follow. Sorry for that. Slapfunk44, thank you very much. Historically speaking, says 12-sided guy, ship captains did not own the ship and were beholding to a ship owner. The ship owner could be used as an NPC to help prevent the issues of a PC captain. That is something else. That is a good point to bring up as well, 12-sided guy. That ultimately, you know, if the ultimate destination, unless you're running just a sandbox and the crew just decides to go wherever they want, because you'll generate content wherever they go. Then yeah, that could be a case to set up. So thank you for bringing that up, 12-sided guy. Yes, an elephant, a Loxodon. I had a fun moment in my Strahd campaign last night. Yeah, please do, Ozzy. I have some fond memories of running Curse of Strahd, and I love hearing about others' experiences. However, if there are spoilers, I mean, I don't know, give a warning or try to word things in such a way that it doesn't necessarily come across as a spoiler. Chaotic greed totally works for this. Greed, the need to personal freedom, hedonism can be powerful motivators. Old Port Media, howdy to you. Welcome. Now it is time to delve into our class and our subclass. There are still only 12 classes, so I'm going to hit this magic golden D12, and we'll find out which class our character is. And since we've opened up all the supplements for subclasses, well, we'll see where this ends up. So if you're ready, we have a female Loxodon, Chaotic Evil, level 4, who was a fisher or had a fisher background, and now adventures or sails as 5, a fighter. Okay. Fighters have 7 subclasses. And so I'm going to generate a 7-sided die, and let's find out what kind of fighter she is. We rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An Eldritch Knight. Alright, so that's in the player's handbook. Loxodons are medium size. I'm going to just get that in there. As a fighter, we will get a fighting style. And so the fighting style that she is going to have will be, I'm going to roll a d6, 3, dueling. Very good. Now, let's find the Loxodon entry for our height and weight and our the length of our life. Here, okay. So all the stats have changed over for a Loxodon. I'm going to roll a percentile, and we're going to find out where in her life she is. We rolled 36. Oh, we just rolled into the adult column. Adult Loxodons, we're going to start at 60, and I'm going to roll a 140-sided die, and we'll find out where that takes our age. We rolled a 54, so she is only 114 years old and is considered an adult. Our base height is 6'2". Loxodons have a 2d12 height modifier. We're adding 12 inches. So she is 7 feet 2 inches tall. And we're going to multiply 12 by 2d6. We're adding 120 pounds. So she is 360 pounds at 7'2". 12-sided guy, if there are spoilers, DM them to me so I can prep for my upcoming campaign. Hey, yeah, if you ever need tips on running Curse of Strahd 12-sided, let me know. All players walk at the top of the tallest tower in a dooming castle with a large pit of death as the centerpiece of the tower. Piddlewick jumps from the roof and pulls the player into the pit. Your kobold character flies down holding a tiny halfling PC, while your Apelong? I'm not sure what that is. Climbs the walls down. This leads to an awesome battle falling down the pit with the puppet. All while Strahd is tormenting them from inside their own heads, forcing them to kill or be killed, and blinding... and it looks like it might have gotten cut off. An Apeling race? I haven't heard of that. Is that a custom one for you? Oh, yeah, Babar, Zulerpai, or Babar. Oh, you're a player. Gotcha, 12-sided. Then don't spoil anything for yourself. Homebrew. Gotcha, Ozzy. That sounds like a very dramatic moment. All right, so we have the information that we need from our random roll guide. And so what we can do is, as I like starting with a character's background. We're actually going to move this other content over here. Let's find out who she is now by interpreting her personality. You love spoilers. It's your favorite part of a car. Don't forget, you need the biggest spoiler that you can tack onto the back of your front-wheel drive car, because it'll make it better. No. There's no big spoilers in what you were talking about, Ozzy. You're correct. All right, so our skill proficiencies are going to be history and survival. So there we go. Languages, we're going to get one language of our choice, so I'm just going to leave that as an open slot with some question marks. Some equipment, we're going to get fishing tackle, a net, and a favorite fishing lure, or oiled leather wading boots. Fishing tackle. Net. Oiled leather boots. A set of traveler's clothes. And a belt pouch with 10 gold in it. Our background feature is Harvest the Water. You gain advantage on ability checks made using fishing tackle. If you have access to a body of water that sustains marine life, you can maintain a moderate lifestyle while working as a fisher. And you can catch enough food to feed yourself and up to 10 other people each day. Our background feature then is Harvest the Water. As a part of the background, we're also going to roll which officer she will be aboard the ship. We haven't done that yet, and we'll get to it there. I should have done it when we were doing our rolls, but this is kind of an independent thing anyway. And I want to do the background first, because the background would still presumably be a predecessor to her coming aboard a ship and earning whatever officer title she's going to get. All right, her fishing tail. You can tell a compelling tale, whether tall or true, to impress and entertain others. Once a day, you can tell your story to willing listeners. At the DM's discretion, a number of those listeners become friendly toward you. This is not a magical effect, and continued amicability on their part depends on your actions. You can roll on the following table to help determine the theme of your tale or choose the one that best fits your character. Alternatively, work with your DM to create your own. We rolled number 3. So this is Fins of Pure Gold. You caught a sea animal whose fins were made of pure gold, but another fisher stole it. Ooh. This is excellent world building for you as a DM if you have a player that comes to you with this background and says, here's this. Now, it could very well be a tall tale, or there is a golden-finned creature or a species of creature that exists out there. This also could end up being a rival fisher. This could be a villain. This could be a foil. This could just be another NPC that you bump into, and this character will grumble at him or her. We're building a world by building a character, because our character comes from this world. Our Fisher personality traits. Number 6. I work hard. Nature offers no handouts. And number 5. I laugh heartily, feel deeply, and fear nothing. Don't get caught up on the fact that her alignment is chaotic evil. And you say, well, how can she laugh heartily? How dare she has fun as a chaotic evil character? I promise you they can have fun in this character. Believe in us. We will make this character work. Her ideal is number 2, luck. Our luck depends on respecting its rules. Now throw this salt over your shoulder. Oh, I'm tearing my hair out. How can she laugh and have fun and have a lawful ideal and be chaotic evil? This makes no sense. 2 out of 10. Unsubscribed, unfollowed, uneverythinged. You are a hack, Mr. Matty Morgs. A curse upon your house. And yet it will work. Have faith. Our bond is number 1. I lost something important in the deep sea, and I intend to find it. Could that go back to the fishing tale? Or was this something else? And if so, what's this something important? Or the someone. We can step sideways with this. We can take this as a prompt and mold it and have fun with it. We have the central idea of something lost that she wants to recover. It could be a thing, it could be a person. It could be something small, it could be the last ship she was on sunk. And that's the something important in the deep sea she wants to find again. Don't let your imagination be constrained. I mean, we're throwing some darts at the board here, and so we're getting some random prompts, but we can bend our minds and flow through this, and everything will work out. Now, pardon, her flaw, because we are all flawed creatures, my friends. Her flaw is number 5. I work hard, but play harder. She's a big girl. So if she's going to play, then she's going to play. Hello, oh sheeps. Welcome. This sounds like the character is slightly delusional. Sounds like a fun RP, says Old Port Media. Oh, sheep, look at the time. Yes, Ozzy. In fact, that's partially why she has that moniker as an exclamation. All right, so we have this character. She grew up, right? She's an adult. She's 114 years old. She's been around. Her background is as a fisher. She probably still fishes, honestly. The fact that her alignment is chaotic evil is indicative of her expressing herself in a manner that tends to be more selfish, me first, and tends to be more impulsive than methodical. And so she follows her instincts, she follows her whims, and she wants to put herself first before others. That being said, if she is a member of a sailing crew, even as an officer, there is still the fact that she realizes I can't just murder people on my ship. I can't just burn the ship because I'm lol bored random. Chaotic evil is not lol bored random whatever. Kill someone because I'm bored. It can very much be that. It doesn't have to be. You can have an extremely intelligent person who thinks about things and follows through and has plans be chaotic evil. The alignment is the expression of the character. She comes across as impulsive. She comes across as putting herself first. And she might even see that as the proper way to live because of whatever role we're going to assign her. In fact, let's roll a d6 and let's find out where she is. So, captain, first mate, bosun, quartermaster. Remember, bosun's like the engineer, quartermaster's like the navigator. Surgeon or cook. Let's find out. Let's roll a d6. Four. So she is the quartermaster. She's the navigator. Dun, dun, dun. We're getting there. Hang on. Officers and crew. So there's captain, first mate, bosun, and quartermaster. The quartermaster plots the ship's course, relying on knowledge of nautical charts and a study of weather and sea conditions. A reliable quartermaster tends to have a high wisdom score, as well as proficiency with navigator's tools and the nature skill. Now, what you are reading there is... it can be interpreted in a couple ways. This could... you could theoretically replace a background with your officer position. Or you could do what we're going to do, and we're going to tack this on for free onto this character. If you're an officer, you are more skilled, right? You have stepped up and done more. And in all honesty, the things that you get from having an officer position don't necessarily break the game. And so this would mean that this is a more empowered character. I mean, if you want to call it more powerful, I wouldn't say more powerful mechanically. It definitely, roleplay-wise, more influential. And so, because of this interpretation, I am going to give the aspects of the quartermaster to the character, with the condition that wisdom is our primary stat, at least when we're building. And so that's a way that if you want to meet me halfway and say, well, we're just giving her a bunch of stuff, why don't we just give a bunch of stuff to other characters? I can get that. And so what I'll do is I'll say, well, you know what? Wisdom isn't necessarily essential or the primary stat of a fighter, but you know what we're going to do to honor the fact that she has this position? that she is officer first before fighter. We will make wisdom... I'll just put an X here. We're going to make wisdom her highest stat as we build this character. Anytime someone's exasperated, I want them to yell my name. Lewd. I think it's a bipolar Loxodon with both industrious and a hedonist. Could be a fun PC. Yeah, do you all imagine yourselves playing this character? Right? We've talked about her personality, how she conveys herself. Can you imagine her being piloted by you? I just found out McDonald's has a Stroop Waffle McFlurry. I do not know what a Stroop Waffle is. I can't help but wonder if the trunk can be used to load a crossbow, 12-sided guy. We'll get to that. Hang in there a second. Vaguely reminds me of the character that Stephen Fry plays in Fable 3. It's a caramel waffle sandwich. Interesting. Roger twice. She has a lot of junk in the trunk. Jeez. Oh, I mean, it's just, especially if she has a cold, right? Now, being the quartermaster, and we can put that here. So she's a fisher. We can put something down here too. That she's also quartermaster. Reliable quartermaster has a high wisdom score, proficiency with navigator's tools, and the nature skill. So let's give her the nature skill and the tool of navigator's tools. She's closer to the stars to read them. And there's going to be something else that you all are going to find and go, oh, this is good for a sailor. Yes. Yes, Ozzy. With 4Ks even. We've moved beyond the double C thick. We're now into 4Ks at the end. All right, now that we have our background in place and we know her role aboard the ship is as the quartermaster, let's discover who she is as a Loxodon. The humanoid elephants called Loxodons are often oases of calm in the busy streets. Oh, Catclaws, thank you very much for the follow and welcome. Welcome aboard. Are often oases of calm in the busy streets of Ravnica. They hum or chant in sonorous tones and move slowly or sit in perfect stillness. If provoked to action, Loxodons are true terrors, bellowing with rage, trumpeting and flapping their ears. Their serene wisdom, fierce loyalty, and unwavering conviction are tremendous assets to their guilds. They are lumbering giants, gifted stone workers, and we might be able to interpret this in another fashion. Relentlessly loyal. Of course, these are Ravnican ones. These are suggestions. That this character doesn't have to have those in place, because these are personality aspects, and we've already explored her core personality. All right, her traits. Your Constitution score increases by 2, and your Wisdom increases by 1. Hey, look at that. So we're going to... here, I'm going to put the X here, and then we're going to float the 1 down here. And Constitution goes up by 2. She's not going to get seasick anytime, or it'll be harder. Most Loxodons are lawful, believing in the value of peaceful, ordered life. They also tend toward good. We have the bad girl, everyone. And you know what? Maybe this is why she had to leave her people, wherever they're from. She's a wild child. She can't be... She's a strong, independent Loxodon, you know, who don't need no conclave. We have the powerful build feature. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and the weight you can push, drag, or lift. Our base speed is 30 feet. Loxodon Serenity. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. Noted. Natural Armor. You have thick, leathery skin. When you aren't wearing armor, your AC is 12 plus your Constitution modifier. You can use your natural armor to determine your AC if the armor you wear would leave you with a lower AC. A shield's benefits apply as normal while you use your natural armor. If a 4K TV has more pixels, a 4K thick would have more thixels, says 12-sided guy. Big mood, says Oh Sheeps. Now, this is where we can have some fun. Our Loxodon has a trunk. You can grasp things with your trunk, and you can use it as a snorkel. A snorkel. It has a reach of 5 feet, and it can lift a number of pounds equal to 5 times your strength score. You can use it to do the following simple tasks: lift, drop, hold, push, or pull an object or a creature, open or close a door or a container, grapple someone, or make an unarmed strike. Your DM might allow other simple tasks to be added to that list of options. Your trunk can't wield weapons or shields, or do anything that requires manual precision, such as using tools or magic items, or performing the somatic components of a spell. And so here, your DM might rule that she can use her trunk to reload a crossbow. You know, that might come down to, is that considered weapon use, or is that considered, you know, a basic manipulation of something like a door, or to close or a container, something like that. But especially because the trunk can be used as a snorkel, that can make this a very interesting character aboard a ship. Right? If she has a 5-foot-long trunk, and she's already 6'20", that means she can stroll along underwater and breathe, and even if she's used to her eyes being open under salt water, she can be an interesting lookout. Or someone who just lurks and waits. Or, everyone, what if that's how she fishes? What if she actually likes going overboard, and so she has a net? And what if she just captures the fish that way? That could be a lot of fun. It'll hold her torch when she... Yeah, exactly, Bubonic One. Or to hide in a marsh like a ninja with a hollow reed. Exactly, Lazy Monkey, you are correct. Because as long as just the tip of the trunk is above water, she can breathe. And so she can be submerged. You know, the top of her head can be 5 feet below. Well, I mean, depending on how you want to angle it or whatever. But, you know, she could be below the surface of the water and still breathe. Elephants have a third eyelid, which moves vertically across the eye. These eyelids function to protect the eye when feeding, bathing, and dusting. Refer to the behavior section. So yeah, if you want to give this character a nictating membrane, I believe is what it's called, have fun with it. Keen smell. Thanks to your sensitive trunk, you have advantage on wisdom perception, wisdom survival, and intelligence investigation checks that involve smell. Now, we're talking about a navigator. A navigator with a very keen nose. You can smell fresh water, fruit, smoke, land. You can smell changes in the weather. I think she is going to make an excellent navigator because of this ability. So let's give her keen smell. And languages, you can speak, read, and write Common and Loxodon. And then, of course, we get one other from being a fisher. I got it right. Yay, lazy monkey. What did you just call me, says O'Sheeps. Didn't mean to yell that, but was already too busy typing to stop myself. You are a creature of passion, O'Sheeps. Hypnotic Gamer, hello and welcome. Welcome, welcome. Speaking of Ravnica, by the way. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Shameless promotion. Ozzy, oh my goodness. Hey, thank you very much for subscribing, Ozzy. I always go with Dwarven. It has the most frequently used written script shared among the other languages. You have been described as fiery before. All right, so now that we have our background, our officer role aboard the ship, and our racial traits, now let's go over to the player's handbook and make our fighter. She's 4th level, so we're only going to worry about this. I mean, could you argue, well, an officer is probably going to be a higher level at 5 or 6 or 10? Yes, you can. This is exercise, you know, this is stuff that we're going through. And, I mean, for a fighter, too, you can see that things are pretty direct in how she'll grow. So, you know, we have her personality, and that is the big part. So, making 4 layers of fighter on top of her, you know, we're not necessarily losing out because, you know, the fighters are going to get this stuff anyway. All right, we are a D10 hit die class, and so we have 4 D10 hit dice to use for natural recovery in between, or like during rests. We are proficient with all armor and shields. But you know what? We have a very free spirit, and she could probably go pretty well without armor if she wanted to. And hey, that works out if you're going to throw yourself in the water to go fishing. You don't want something biting you, or if you are wild and free, because hey, if you're out on a ship and you don't have to really worry about modesty. I mean, if any of the other sailors take offense to her sunbathing, then you know, she'll just throw him over the side, because who's gonna mess with her? All right, we are trained with all simple and martial weapons. We get no tool proficiencies. And our saving throws are strength and constitution. I think by the time we're done building her, she's going to be able to wrestle a shark. A nudist Loxodon, wild and free, don't like it? Get the stomp. Exactly, lazy monkey. 4 levels is nothing to laugh at. That is considered well and above most folks as PCs. Yes, 12-sided. Throw him off the yardarm, says Bubonic. So the argument she would be a higher level as an officer? And I put that out there because we as role players, or hey, stop it, cat. So, hey, I just told you to stop. You gotta lay down the law. If you want to lay there, you can lay there, but don't scratch. Okay. I think we've reached an accord. So yeah, I mean, level 4, she, especially because the sailors are commoners who have 4 hit points and 10s and everything, she's definitely well and above. And I'm not just talking in, you know, proportion. She's well and above the average sailor. You made a good point. If my players last night, they wake up with no items, but cloth underwear, and they want to go down a pit, can we make a rope out of our clothes? Me, sure thing. You have a 10-foot improvised rope. Not nearly enough. And you're all naked. Now what? Yes. And it's desperate times can call for desperate measures. Although in this case, because of the way she expresses herself, I think our Loxodon is happy to be a little wild and free. All right, so choose to. Hey, you can meow at me all you want, but I'm still squishing you if you're gonna do that. You start, skills: acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. Well, I think because of her officer, being the officer she is, perception would come in handy, right? You're a navigator. You should be pretty good at this. Now, for the other skills, well, we already have history, and we have survival. That leaves insight, intimidation, athletics, and perception. I'm sorry, not perception, because we already have that in survival. So let's look at her personality. I work hard, nature offers no handouts, and I laugh heartily. You know, if she's fishing and she's reeling in big catches, I almost want to say athletics is the way forward for her. I laugh heartily. I lost something important in the deep sea, and I intend to find it. So she wants to train to go underwater, especially to great depths. So a high strength and con I think will work out. I work hard, but I play harder. Oh, dearie dear. So, I think athletics is going to be the way for her. Now, if you think differently, then, I mean, you're welcome to throw out an objection. A humanoid ladder? "12-sided guy says, I'm more okay with a naked human ladder than I should be. Laugh heartily, feel deeply, and fear nothing." Wow, this is me. So Sheeps, we are creating a Loxodon version of you, it seems, then. Exactly, she's after the gold sea creature, or it could be something else that has fallen over the wayside or sunk beneath the waves, or a someone. What skill is rolled to fish? Most of the time it'd be survival, lazy monkey. Sheeps, I'm cool with being a big, beautiful elephant. Yep, those BBEs. I fear heartily, laugh deeply, and feel nothing. Nope, I'm not a Loxodon, says lazy monkey. Y'all are something else. Alright, we're gonna get... I'll just hang out in the rigging and fling poo. We all have a role to play aboard a ship. So she can wear chainmail, leather, and also have the longbow and arrows. I think she's definitely more of a burly girl. And the chainmail might actually help her sink, because she's fine being in the water. And so let's give her some chainmail. Although she won't always use it, so it would almost be like a chainmail bikini. That we oft hear about in fantasy. That's her chainmail armor, because she has the natural armor, which is 12 plus her con mod, if she's not wearing armor. A martial weapon and a shield, or two martial weapons. Well, as a duelist, or as a dueling fighter, she gets a bonus to damage if she is holding a weapon in one hand and no weapon in another. And so, if it came down to it here, if we're talking that she's a fisher, maybe something like a trident and a shield could be really cool. If you have another suggestion, then you're welcome to throw it out there. And we'll indicate she has a shield by filling in this little doodad up here. A light crossbow and 20 bolts, or 2 hand axes. She is going to be... let's give her 2 hand axes. Those are very useful aboard a ship. Probably not going to be the most dexterous woman. Her trunk is flexible, but the rest of her may not be. A Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack? Explorer's pack. So, fighting style, dueling, melee weapon in one hand and no other... Because, wait, a trident, I think, can be wielded one-handed. Ooh. Let me double-check in Chapter 5 equipment real quick. Trident. Yeah, it does not have the two-handed property. So it's 1d6 normally. If she wields it in two hands, it goes up to a d8 damage. But it can be wielded in one. And it can also be thrown. So a trident and a shield. She also gets a net. Kind of going for stereotypical gladiator style stuff, huh? She is going to get the ability to have a second wind, which she can recover in the midst of combat. We are also going to get an action surge, so she can take more actions in combat. We'll pick up our martial archetype at level 3. We'll worry about that in a second. And then at level 4, she is going to get to bump up one of her skills by 2, or not, one of her abilities by 2 points, or 2 of her ability scores by 1 point. All right, so we're finished with her class features. Now, what does being an Eldritch Knight mean for her? You learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the wizard spell list. You learn an additional wizard cantrip at level 10. We're not that far yet. So we're gonna get 2 cantrips off the wizard spell list, and you all can let me know which ones you think that she should have. We will get some spell slots. So as a 4th level fighter, we're gonna have 3 first level spell slots. Weapon bond. At 3rd level, you learn a ritual that creates a magical bond between yourself and one weapon. You perform the ritual over the course of 1 hour, which can be done during a short rest. The weapon must be within your reach throughout the ritual, at the conclusion of which you touch the weapon and forge the bond. Once you have bonded a weapon to yourself, you can't be disarmed of that weapon unless you are incapacitated. If it is on the same plane of existence, you can summon that weapon as a bonus action on your turn. So it's sort of like Mjolnir for Thor. In this case, if she wants to bond with that trident or whatever, she can just sort of summon it to her hand. So we're going to get weapon bond at level 3. And we're not going to get war magic. We're not going to get war magic until level 7. And so now we are going to know 4 spells. So cantrips, we're going to label down here as cantrip 1, cantrip 2. We have 3 first level spell slots. And at level 1, or I'm sorry, level 3, we actually know 3 spells. And then at level 4, we get our 4th spell, right? Because we're looking here at spells known. And these are off the wizard spell list. So we're using intelligence. So spellcasting class. Eldritch Knight. Spellcasting abilities is off of intelligence. Does the limitations of school from Eldritch Knight apply to the cantrips? The cantrips just says you learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the wizard spell list. The Arcane Trickster is the one that has you take Mage Hand as a cantrip. Like, you have to take that. Also for the spell slots, you know 3 first level wizard spells of your choice, 2 of which you must choose from Abjuration or Evocation. That's going to be important for us to remember for this character. So 2 of our 3 must be Abjuration or Evocation. And the 3rd can be whatever we want. But that's only for spells of first level or higher. Our cantrips can be anything. Tomato Blue, hello, welcome. Oh, speaking of things like dancing lights, we do not have dark vision, so lights can be important. And if we want to make the lights dance, do a little shimmy shake, maybe put on a little bit of a show for yourself in the privacy of your quarters or for others, your dancing lights might be able to help with that. True Strike since Fighter? Well, possibly. I mean, so if you cast True Strike, that takes your action, and then but then you'd have advantage on your next swing. So you're sort of not attacking, and then you're attacking with advantage. Not attacking and attacking with advantage. Now, something that she'll end up getting into, though, beginning at 7th level, when you use your action to cast a cantrip, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action. So in this case, Eldritch Knight might be able to rock True Strike by casting True Strike and then getting a swing in as the bonus action. Augury says Booming Blade. It depends. Augury, there's all sorts of situations. Now, Booming Blade, I don't have that resource up, so Booming Blade may not be a bad one, but I guess we're talking theoretical stuff. We could put something in there. I just don't have that up at the moment. Mage Hand, possibly. Yeah, that's true, Augury. It would depend. Yeah, you might not be able to True Strike and then take that bonus action. Mending would be useful on a ship. That's true. Remember, she is the Quartermaster, right? She's the Navigator. So something that could help out with that or her fishing could be useful as well. All right. So, I mean, we can talk spells. We can put those in there, but I want to complete the character by dropping the engine into her. We've pulled her from the ethereal mists of creation. We have an idea of who she is, how she operates, and she certainly serves a unique purpose aboard the ship. I mean, she helps it get from here and there. She works hard, so in fact, you may not always need your navigator, and so even if she's not navigating, she's still putting in work. Or she's playing and maybe using some of her executive privilege here. And she's always making strides to find this lost thing. So now that we have the chassis for our character, and it is quite a voluptuous chassis, let's drop the Hemi. Not just the engine, we're going to put a Hemi in her. And we're going to use the standard array of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Now, the condition that I put forward into giving her the officer proficiencies was that no matter her class, the recommended stat would be the highest starting out. And so I'm going to put 15 in wisdom. So we have that out of the way. From there, she is definitely a burly girl. So something like a 14 strength, or we could even go 14 constitution and 13 strength. She will need some intelligence, right? She can tell some stories, and it's a, you can have a non-optimal stat character and still be functional in 5th ed. I mean, you could have a wizard, at 12th level, and it's a functional wizard. Her charisma is a 10. I mean, she might come across as a little rude and crude, or very lusty and earthy in her approach. She probably can burp, fart, and cuss with the best of them. And her dexterity is going to be lower. Right? She's more or less kind of relying on her natural armor, which is why she can actually get away with a chainmail bikini if she's swimming because of that. So this is going to put her constitution at a 16, and that's going to put her wisdom at a 16. Lusty and earthy, I've never heard that to describe someone. I like it. There you go, oh sheeps. Swears like a sailor. She could probably, I don't know what the Loxodon language sounds like swearing, but I bet it's pretty cool. Mage hand just plucked the fish out of the water? Ah. Yeah, air quotes executive privilege, 12-sided guy. Augury, it wouldn't work with war magic? Okay, thank you for clarifying that, as I don't have that, that up in front of me at the moment. I appreciate you doing that. You may refer to me as Earthy from now on. Oh, Sheeps is an earthy lady. Now, at level 4, we get an ability score improvement, which means that we can put 2 points into one score or 1 point into 2. And I'm kind of... We might want to bring up her strength so that she can still, so she can still fight and be up in the mix. And we can bump something else if we want, or we could just bring her strength to a 15. I'm kind of digging the 15. Now, ultimately, fighters get ability score improvements out the wazoo, right? Level 4, level 6, level 8, level 12, level 14, and level 16 and level 19. So she is going to be, I mean, she's already well-rounded, if you get what I mean. But she's going to be very well-rounded with her ability scores. So this early on, this is going to change so dramatically over the course of her adventuring. Magic Missile works for fishing too. Auto hit. Grass-fed, plump wool, etc., says O'Sheeps. Lazy Monkey says, I'm happy to be corrected on things. I'm a player of older editions, so 5th ed is a bit of a guessing game. But still, Lazy, your perception and your contribution can bring something that we haven't considered for those of us who have not played older editions. So I don't want you to feel awkward or that you shouldn't participate. Because if something worked a different way in an older edition, hey, throw it out there. It's something for us to consider. Maybe it would be actually a cool interaction to change something some way, or to realize a spell or a trait or a feature used in another way that it doesn't currently, but it had been before. At 18, I would work with War Magic since it would let you cast a spell and attack. Not awkward, just saying I welcome the corrections. Okay, gotcha, Lazy Monkey. So with this, we have a +2 strength modifier, -1 dex, 3 con, 1 int, 3 wisdom, and 0 charisma. Our proficiency bonus is a +2 still, as that's going to go up next level to a 3. Now we can fuel our skills and our saves. So we have a 4 strength saving throw, 4 athletics. We are just going to copy and paste this very discreetly into dexterity, -1, -1, -1, -1. Our constitution save is 5. We're going to be resisting the heck out of poison and necromancy stuff. Hopefully. 3, 3, 3, 3. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that should be 1s. And the proficiencies are 3s. There we go. Wisdom is 3 down the line, except perception and survival, which is 5 and 5. And then charisma is 0 down the line. Boy, these numbers are going to change quickly with this character. So that means our passive perception's a 15, as that's 10 plus our perception modifier, which represents our natural awareness. I'm a pretty laid-back monkey, not easy to offend. The party can start. Rykon is here. Welcome, Rykon. Though I do throw poo, so... there is actually a Lazy Monkey. If you don't have it, there's a fun, kind of a party card game called Poo, where monkeys throw poo at each other. And it's a lot of fun, actually. I think I have a copy of it. Do I? Is it within easy reach if I do? Unfortunately, poo is not in easy reach. Our armor class, if we're not wearing armor, is going to be a 15. And we can stack our shield on top of that if she wants to go au naturel but have a shield. It'd be kind of like naked and wearing only shoes. For some reason, that's awkward when just being naked isn't. But if she wants to wear chainmail, Chainmail starts at 16, and then plus her shield brings her to 18. Otherwise, if she's just rocking her own bod, she can be at a 17 because of her natural armor and a shield. And if she doesn't have the shield, we subtract 2 from that. So, I mean, if we pretend she's in the chainmail, that puts her up to an 18. Initiative is actually going to be a -1 because initiative is a dexterity check. By the way, she's no longer a bunch of stats. We can get rid of the standard array, and I'm open to options for her name. What is her name, or what do people call her aboard the ship, or both? Grease would be a great spell in ship-to-ship combat. Grease the other ship's deck, limited area to move in. Our current hit points. At level 1, you get your maximum hit dice of hit points. Fighters are a D10 hit die class, so we get 10. Our remaining 3 levels would be half plus 1 of our hit die, so that's 6. Then for all of our levels, all 4 of them, you get bonus hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. And so here's our math. At level 4, let's see, so there's 12 and 18. So 30. She has 40 hit points at level 4. She can take it and she can dish it out. If we're attacking with our strength-based weapons here, we would be at a +4. Hand axes can be thrown, but they have the thrown property, meaning you can use strength to make the ranged attack. And tridents are also thrown. So this is 1d6 +2, and this is a 1d8 versatile weapon, if we do decide to use 2 hands. Actually, I'm sorry, this is going to be a +4, because she is a dueling fighter. And so if she has a weapon in one hand and no weapon in the other, she gets bonus damage. So, yeah, she's actually, she's putting out some damage. Hand axes, I believe, are 1d4, so this is also going to be +4 slashing damage. If we do take a spell that has an attack, which maybe we don't, I saw some of you were suggesting some spells over there, an Eldritch Knight attacks off of intelligence. So we're going to take our 1 intelligence modifier and add our proficiency bonus to that. I hope we're proficient in spells anyway. So we have a +3 to attack with our spells, and to resist our spells is a difficulty class of 11. So you simply add 8 to your attack modifier. That's just the universal thing in 5th ed for that. So that's 11 and a +3. I'm just asking since I have only used the auto stat rolls. Flaming Sphere is mean on a wooden boat? Yeah, Lazy, it would be. Hi, Tomato. Good to see you still hanging out with us. Yeah, she can't cast 2nd level spells yet. Yeah, so that's something to consider, everyone. Our 2 cantrips, and I think I saw, what, Dancing Lights and Mage Hand? Dancing Lights and Mage Hand were suggested cantrips. These can be from any school. However, let me go back to it real quick here. When we're creating our Eldritch Knight, you know 3 first-level wizard spell slots of your choice, 2 of which you must choose from Abjuration or Evocation. So that means that this is going to have to be A and E, or I'm sorry, A or E. A or E. This can be any. And then Spellcasting table shows when you learn more wizard spells of first level or higher. Each of these spells must be an abjuration or evocation spell of your choice and must be of a level for which you have spell slots. So, for instance, when you reach 7th level, you can learn one new spell of first or second. The spells you learn at 8, 14, and 20 can come from any school of magic. So, this, our 4th level 1 spell, also has to be from abjuration or evocation. All right, well, I'll tell you what, everyone. I'm going to get up and take a quick break. I'm going to get a snack and refresh my drink a little bit. If you want to post some spells that you think that she'd have, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm looking for some names for this character as well. So let me know if she has a particular sounding name or a nickname, something that everyone on board calls her. Or at least is willing to call her to her face and not and not the sultry rumors that might swirl about our lusty Loxodon here. Then let me know. And when we come back, we're going to make a second officer using the Ghosts of Saltmarsh and the Player's Handbook and our random roll guide for character creation. All right, everyone? So, take a little break, refresh yourselves, and we'll be right back.